Hi there, everybody. Hi, Cancer friends. This is a live reading for you for the full moon in Libra, which is the 19th. So this reading will span the second half of April. So what are we going to do? We have the tarot of the Initiatory Tarot of the Golden Dawn, my favorite deck. You can see the box is all messed up. And then I have my Sibilla cards here. I have the Lenormand cards, should I need them. And then I'll be casting runes. And I'll be spreading the cards in a full moon spread. It will be round, and there'll be 6 points to it. And each point has a specific meaning that I'll tell you about and explain them to you, of course. And I'll be clarifying a few of the points with Sibilla cards. And there's a special message for each sign this cycle, this moon cycle. Because as you know, the new moons usually begin projects, or is where we would ask. We would send our messages out to the universe, and we would initiate a process and projects, or if you want to think along those lines. And the full moon then is a moment where we generally would release things that no longer serve us, or that people, actions, habits that no longer serve us. So let's take a look at what comes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let me show you those cards first around the moon that create the moon. This is the 5 of Cups. Hi there. Welcome to my room. Then we have the 2 of Swords. Come one, come all. 2 of Swords. And then we have the Hermit. Interesting. Very interesting. The Hermit. And then the Wheel of Fortune. Then the Wheel of Fortune. Then we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands. And the last card is the 6 of Swords. Now, first of all, in line with what I was saying, that the full moon is a moment of release, the first card will tell us what it represents. What have we created since the last moon, since the new moon? What have we manifested since then? And this is the 5 of Cups. And the 5 of Cups is a card where there's a little bit of uncertainty as to, are we happy, are we sad? Are we happy? Is the glass half full or half empty? And that is the question that we ask us. And what have we manifested? We have manifested a logical process that has brought us to understand that there might be something wrong in what we've been doing. And then we come to a card that tells us, that represents where I am, Cancer. Where are you in your life's journey, in your soul's journey? And the card, it's represented by the 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords, typically, you can see almost always in any tarot deck, this is a blindfolded woman with 2 swords. It's a moment of decisions. Where am I? I'm at a crossroads. I'm at a crossroads, and it's now or never. Now is the time where I have to try to decide what I want to do from here on in. Then we have a card that symbolizes what is coming to me. What is coming to me, to my conscious awareness. And we have the Hermit. Now, the Hermit, I'm going to pull another card, and we have the 3 of Wands. All right, what is coming to you? The Hermit, we typically know, is a card of study. It's a card of drawing within. It's a card of seclusion, but it's also a card of study, of analyzing, of critically viewing different aspects of our life and of our soul's journey. And here we have what is coming to you is the notion that you have a firm foundation from which to build, on which to build. And this is the moment, this full moon period is the moment when you are going to understand which building blocks you will need to build upon your foundation. Then we have a card here that symbolizes what is no longer serving me. And how interesting that the Wheel of Fortune has come out. Now, this has very many different layers of meaning. For example, if you are a person who goes gambling, that no longer serves you. All right, that's superficial, the superficial reading of that card. However, if you are a person who really wakes up and thinks, well, what will be my luck today? Relying on the notion of luck, or what will I have to expect today? Yesterday was a good day. Probably today is going to be a bad day. You know, this notion of reasoning in terms of perchance, haphazard occurrences without living with intentions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Cancer friends, that is no longer serving you. You find yourself, ladies and gentlemen, Cancer friends, that you're going through a portal of not a new value system, but new values will be coming your way. Your system is in place. You have these certain ideas, and sometimes they could be very pig-headed. But you're starting just now, and this full moon period is the proper way and the proper moment to, you know, I was saying before, this is the proper moment to take care of that. I was saying before, my nose was itching. That wasn't money. When money comes when your palm itches, but I'm itching here, so that's nothing. So as I was saying, this is the time when you start. It's a very feeble development of, I know that there's more. I understand that there's more. I'll give you an example. It's all about believing and trusting. You're a typical person who, you have a stomach ache, oh, I have to go to the doctor, they have to give me some pills. Or my blood pressure, oh my God, my blood pressure is high. You go to the doctor, you get pills. My cholesterol is high, I have to go to the doctor, you get pills. Oh, I feel a little bit of anxiety, I go to the doctor and get pills. And you are a person who relies on traditional medicine. Okay, I'm not knocking traditional medicine, but this is an example, okay? And the example goes, and you argue, you know, someone that's close to you, could be a companion, your wife, daughter, a close friend. They say to you, well, you know, you had the same thing. Their friend, they were saying, you know, well, yeah, my cholesterol's high, but I'm not going to take those pills that the doctor wants me to. I'm going to go to the homeopath and see what I can do. And you start an argument. No, it's very serious. And you start an argument. One day, 2 days, the third day, you start to think, you know, maybe that person is right. It can't be that I have to take all of these chemicals to counterbalance something. They must take their toll on me. And then you start to believe. I was talking about spirituality, of course. This is also in line with that. Then you start to think there's another way. And this, as a very banal example, is the start of you coming to a different awareness of that other way. There's another way. There are other thoughts that need to populate my brain. There are other things that I am not seeing and I've never seen. All of those other things are what need to be released, Cancer. We're going around the full moon. Then we have the card that symbolizes how to release. What is needed? How can you let that go? And you have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands tells you, look, Cancer, do not waste time. This needs to be done with a passion. You need to start studying those new ideas that you have been around your head with people talking to you all about homeopathy or acupuncture and all these other things that are not traditional medicine. Maybe it's time you start now and with a passion. Okay, that's what the card is telling you. And the last talks about what other resources you have available to you that will help you release. And this is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is a card that tells you, look, Cancer, if you do release, and if you do study with a passion and try to understand what other areas that, what other medical cures or treatments you can use that are alternative to traditional medicine, those are going to bring you to a different place. And what is in your favor, the resource you have available to you, is that you do have a brain. And even if it's happening only now, and you may be 70, 90 years old, all of those days taking all of those pills, okay, I'm exaggerating, but there is still time to go to a better place. You have time on your side. Time and space in this frame of time, in this context, is working toward helping you, Cancer. Now I'm going to take the Sibilla cards on 4 of these areas. One of them is, the first one is, where am I? Where am I in my soul's journey? You remember it was the Two of Swords at a crossroads, making a decision as to how I want to proceed. And what do I have? Well, let me tell them, do all of them. Then the next one is, what is coming toward me? Remember, we had the Hermit and the Three of Swords, the Three of Wands, the stability and learning how to build on your stability. And then we had what is no longer serving you, what needs to be released, and then what other resources you have available to you. So the first is, where am I? And where am I? We have the male enemy, nemico, we have the child bambino, and we have love, amore. Now these are telling you that never before, Cancer, have you understood that what is coming to you is the notion that people, even if they've left you, even if your husband or wife has left you, your companion of so many years has left you, they have an active love, because they understood that as they were walking out the door, they were doing it for your spiritual growth. Where are you? You are at the realization, at a crossroads. Do I want to espouse that, or do I not want to? Do I always want to give the responsibility to others, saying and playing the victim, or do I want to understand? At a crossroads of now, whether I can understand or I cannot understand. And it's a big process, a very deep, in-depth process, Cancer, that I'm looking at, is of realization. All of a sudden, illumination. You're being illuminated of, what have I done all those years? It's coming to you now. Then I have the 3 Sibilla cards on what is coming to me. What is coming to you? I have Sacerdote, the priest. I have the messenger, messaggero, and then I have conversazione, conversation. And what does this mean? What is coming to you? You will understand all those things that you yourself hid away from others. You will start to understand what they have meant to you in a positive way and a negative way. What did they make you lose? What did they make you gain? And you will start to open yourself to communication in a far greater way than in the past. Really interesting. This is an illumination. Then the card that what no longer serves me, what is to be released. I have Morte, the death card. I've got Gran Consolazione, great consolation, and Fortuna, fortune. And what it tells you here is that when you put, in Italian we say, we put a huge stone on it, boom, and that means death, you get rid of it. What will come to you is extreme extreme fortune, if we want to say fortune, but is a spiritual development, is fortune. So intense. And then we have the last 3 cards to illuminate is on what other resources do I have that will help me release? And I have a Mercante, the merchant. I have a Belvedere, the outlook in the future, which will be right, and L'Amante, the female lover. Now, what do I have as resources? I have my work, my livelihood, of course, that's superficial, as the superficial reading. I also have love, but I also have the possibility, if I do A, B, C, D around the full moon, to know and trust that other resources, trust that the universe has your back. I'm going to take the runes and cast them here and see what they have to say. Whoa, I've got a lot of realization. I've got 2 conflicting runes. One is Kinat's Bright Stave and Perdro Merc Stave, and they are telling you you're still not strong in terms of how you hone your intuitive skills. You know that you have intuition, you just don't, and you're not used to using it and relying on it. This is a time when you can practice that, and you need to practice that. Lagos Lagus is going to tell you, look, this is a very favorable time. It's going to go very, very smoothly. If you can keep the trust, it will go very, very smoothly. I've got Wunyo, which speaks loud and shouts joy. Yera, that beats time, telling you this, this process starts now, but it will be developing in future as well. Thurisets, that tells me this is a rite of passage, Cancer. You cannot not do this. And I have Awats that talks to me about protection. You are protected. You are under a lucky star. And Otala, ladies and gentlemen, tells me that this is the key to your extreme change, this extreme baptism of fire is the only word that comes to my mind, Cancer. It's an extreme turnaround for you. Something, you know, like this, you're turning around completely. You're starting to walk down a path that you never thought possible. And it's true illumination for you. Good for you, Cancer. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this was of help to you. Do like and share my videos. I would appreciate that. And subscribe. I would love that. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. I'll come and say hello to you, everybody in my room. Bye-bye. I will be back. I will be back. I will be back.